In one of Israel Kamakwikuwole's famous songs, he lyricized, "Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, I see trees of green and red roses too. I'll watch them bloom for me and you, and I'll think to myself, what a wonderful world." In 2015, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported that 1 in 5 teen drivers involved in fatal accidents had alcohol in their system, and an average 81% of these drivers had blood alcohol contents higher than the legal limit for adults. Not only that, but out of an average of 33,500 deaths in traffic accidents each year, 10,076 of these drivers had an illegal BAC. On May 20th, 2015, Ryan Lenozga became part of that 10,076. It was graduation season in Colorado Springs, and the goodbye parties were already in full bloom. On that fateful Wednesday night of May 20th, Ryan made the decision to get a ride home from someone previously partaking in graduation festivities, including drinking and the use of drugs. All it took was 2 minutes. 2 minutes behind the wheel in a sharp corner for the driver to lose absolute control and roll the SUV onto a nearby rock. Due to an error of bad judgment, Ryan forewent the decision to wear a seatbelt, and his body was ejected and eventually became stuck under that SUV. He was killed upon impact. However, Ryan is more than a statistic. He was 16 years old, a star football player, an honor roll student, a son, a brother, and one of my best friends. I founded WADS for Ryan because the world deserves to know that. My CrossFit journey began in January of 2015 at a hometown box in Colorado called CrossFit Endemic. I was in the midst of ending a 9-year all-star cheerleading career, and 3 months into training started showing early signs of borderline personality disorder and an anxiety disorder. I immediately found comfort in showing up to the gym at 7 in the morning and staying until 1 in the afternoon, but then coming back 3 hours later and staying until closing time at 8. In the heart of lifting weights nearly twice my size and running sub 5-minute miles, it became apparent to me that training my body to be physically strong no longer seemed arduous for me. In the span of 2 years, I accustomed myself to compete alongside elite athletes and max out lifts heavier than every adult working alongside me, all at just the age of 17. However, despite all of this, there was one thing CrossFit taught me that no one has ever been able to, and that is the power of mental strength. After Ryan's death, not only myself, but the entire community basically fell apart. While others found comfort in more parties or traveling or being surrounded by loved ones, I found relief in my box. I fell in love again, but this time with PRing my clean and jerk, or ripping my hands open after muscle-ups, or sweating out my body weight. It was then that I realized if it wasn't for CrossFit, I probably wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for the constant desire to push my limits as far as they could go, and the consistent determination to beat my yesterday self, I am almost certain that I would not be standing here right now. I wanted to use that drive to make a difference in this community. I was introduced to the Genius Project in April of 2016, around the middle of my junior year, and to be honest, I have not stopped working on this dang thing since that day. We were asked what it was that made us want to make a difference or impact the community. What was it that made us want to wake up at the break of dawn but not want to go to bed until we knew we had achieved it? What was our passion? But how could my love for lifting weights make a difference? 17 million teenagers in the world, and we were asked to be the ones to make a difference. But suddenly, out of nowhere, but seemingly all at once, the image of my best friend came into my mind, and that's when Watts for Ryan was born. I wanted to turn my grief into a life-changing experience for somebody else. I contacted the most recognized face of CrossFit headquarters and director of the Reebok CrossFit Games, Dave Castro, to be my mentor. Although he accepted, shortly after, he became MIA and started ignoring my phone calls and emails. I envisioned this competition to be held here at Sage Creek on May 20th of 2017 and allow students to compete for free. However, Watts for Ryan will now be held on July 22nd and include 3 high-intensity workouts accompanied by a floater strength portion. I came to the decision to contact Rogue, the largest manufacturer of strength and conditioning equipment, for a sponsorship, and to my surprise, they accepted and even offered to send out volunteers if I needed. It was clear to me that this was going to be an absolute success. That was until September 21st, 2016, when Lacey Starbeck became part of the 10,076 when she was killed upon impact in a head-on collision with a drunk driver. Lacey had just graduated high school the year before, and she was on track to attending college. Not only that, but she was one of my closest friends from back home. Hardly a week later, I was the victim of a hit-and-run accident with a drunk driver that left me with a totaled car and a concussion due to my airbags failing to deploy and causing my head to be slammed into the steering wheel. It got to the point where my car could barely run, and the boundless weight from warning my friends was nearly immeasurable to the weights that I thought I could comfort myself in. But in that pain is when I found my passion. I wanted to stand up for those 1 in 5 that no longer may have had a voice. However, at the beginning of this year, I lost my sponsorship from Rogue. Not only did I lose thousands of dollars worth of equipment and volunteers, but everything I desperately needed to fund Watts for Ryan was just gone. Shortly after, at a meeting with school officials, I was directed towards not holding the competition on school grounds due to liability and the possibility of even more funding from me. At this point, I was near calling it quits because after time and time again of trying, the universe just kept telling me no. But the universe wasn't giving up just yet. Around the end of January, I teamed up with a company called Bonfire, and they gave me the opportunity to sell specially made Watts for Ryan shirts and split the profits in half with me. Almost immediately after the website went live, I had mass amounts of people asking for them and offering their support. And within 24 hours, I had exceeded my goal of production and raised nearly $300. However, also after the site went live, I had lawyers contacting me, threatening to take legal action against me if I continued to advertise and profit from Watts for Ryan being a CrossFit competition. At this point, all I could see was rock bottom for me. I wanted to leave everything behind. I wanted to shut down the site. I wanted to pay everyone their money back. I wanted to throw in the towel and just give up. It wasn't until around the 6th time of calling my mom in absolute tears that she told me, "Look down. He'll always believe in you, Callie. Just don't let him down." One of my favorite quotes is, "Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire." I had lawyers breathing down my neck. I had affiliate owners telling me I'm too young and naive. I had peers telling me this epidemic of drunk driving isn't even real, and yet every day I woke up and continued this journey because this is not a school project for me. This is what I found to be my passion. Passion is what wakes you up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday when everyone else just went to bed from the night before, and what gets you to your 5:30 training sessions before school some days. Passion is what keeps you up until midnight, weighing out every single ounce of chicken and every gram of casein for the next day, and suffering through 2 cups of broccoli for breakfast every morning. Passion is what drives you to borderline stalk a grown man just so he will answer your phone calls and emails. Passion is what drives you to finish something you love when everyone around you is telling you it's impossible. And that's what the Genius Project is all about. If you take 3 things away from this talk, I hope that it's this. 1, never underestimate the power of a girl with a broken heart. 2, never be ashamed of sharing your story. And 3, the overarching power of passion can cause anybody, no matter what age, to cause a wave of change in this world. All it takes is a little grit, devotion, and a whole lot of heart. Since embarking on this adventure, not only have I learned what it genuinely means to fight for what you believe in, but that people are so unaware of this epidemic among us. From 2003 to 2012, 1,700 people died as a result of drunk driving in Colorado alone, and that number has only grown in the last 4.5 years. Every single day, 28 people die as a result of drunk driving. I want to make that number 0. I don't want anybody else to wake up to that phone call at 4 in the morning saying they're never gonna see their best friend or their son or their daughter or maybe even their parents ever again. And the only way for that to happen is for the world to accept that this upsurge is real and needs to be stopped. I founded Watts for Ryan to show the world that my best friend is more than a statistic, and it has since inspired me to launch other projects, such as another nonprofit organization called Fortitude, designed to help those looking for a second chance at life to have just that, through CrossFit training and nutritional advice. I want to save more lives the way CrossFit saved mine. With this being said, this weekend, in 2 days, will be the 2-year anniversary of losing my best friend. In 2 days will be our senior prom. If at any point this weekend, and any weekend at that matter, you find yourself in the position where you're behind the wheel, someone else is behind the wheel, you are in a vehicle where someone is behind the wheel and they are anywhere near intoxicated, this is my phone number. And it is not just for the cute boys out there, I'm just saying that. Do not hesitate to call me. I know that my car may cramp your style, but I promise that I will do everything in my power to make sure you arrive where you need to be and you will be there safely. And I hope that you pass that along to everyone else. I want you to have the chance that Ryan never got. Never be ashamed of sharing your story, because I promise it could inspire others. And just like Israel Kamukwikiwole sang almost 30 years ago, I'll see you again someday, Ryan, somewhere over the rainbow. Thank you.